Hello, guys, and welcome to Celia's Playlists. We are here with Kelly Eryn today, who is a independent pop artist from Ohio, and I'm so excited to have you here. Kelly, how's it going?
Hey, good. How's it going with you?
It's going good. It's a busy day here at the studio, but as I have said, it's always a busy day. So I'm
That's very true.
I'm just happy to be hanging out with you. You were one of the first people that I met on Threads, and I am excited to actually be able to speak to face today.
Yeah, back at you.
So, Kelly, tell me a little bit about your musical history.
Oh God. Music's been a part of my life ever since I was little. I've played in a number of bands. I've done drum and bugle corps. I've gone to music school. But it really has become more of a focus in the last few years of my life. I started playing keyboards and drums in a band here in town, and then this solo project sort of kind of sprung out of that. So
That's awesome. I
yeah.
remember us talking about there like the fact that you were doing some live stuff and you were being the showman and making sure that the show went on as a technical thing
Oh yeah.
went wrong.
Hmm.
So I can tell that you have that showman type energy, like where you are professional and keep things going. So let's talk about your solo project. Tell me a little bit about your inspiration and where you're trying to go with this project, because sonically it's a very very fun sound, and I think everyone should check out some of your music.
Well, it's interesting. When this solo project started, as I said earlier, I was playing in a band already, and so it was really more of like an EDM focus is what I was going to be doing. And then COVID happened. And during COVID, I decided to learn how to play the guitar, and that changed everything. So suddenly I was writing songs and not just beats. And that began to evolve into doing music that wasn't strictly locked into the EDM genre. So my first couple releases are very much in that genre, but the next couple of things I've got coming out are going to stray away from that to some degree. And a lot of my influences, I mean, they're all over the place. Obviously, EDM, especially like turn of the millennia music, is really up there. But I'm pulling from 70s prog rock, 80s new wave, 90s grunge, singer songwriter stuff. I'm definitely in my like indie pop era right now, so that's a major influence. So one of the things I'm trying to do is take all these radically different spaces and kind of put them in something and
I
make it
got you.
somewhat cohesive, which is
Well,
always a
that's
challenge.
I feel like that's how some of the best music's made, though. Like, taking all of those different influences and throwing them in a blender.
I would agree. I would agree.
So you call yourself a DIY artist. Is that because you're kind of putting everything together yourself? Is that like, what is the vibe there?
It's a lot.
You're just like, all right, let me take a deep breath for that one. I'm gonna put you full.
Yeah. Okay. So no, I use the term DIY because I literally am doing it all myself. So I'm writing everything. I'm recording everything. I'm performing everything. I'm doing the mixing. I have a little bit of help with the mastering, but even beyond that, I've been doing my own artwork. I've been doing my own promotion. The only place where I have assistance is I do have a band that backs me up live. The Midnight Vigil is their name, and we are going to be recording some music together as a group. So I will have some help there, but even in that regard, we're still going to be doing it ourselves. We're going to be recording it ourselves in our own space, doing everything top to bottom. So it's a lot, but I like it that way because then I don't get in fights with people, just myself. I
That's
get in fights with
funny.
myself sometimes. But
Oh, trust me,
yeah.
I totally understand that, and I feel like the DIY artist is kind of like where a lot of people are at these days. Like, they feel that they have to like have either their hands on everything or out of like budget necessity. That's the way that they approach their music, at least at the beginning. So like what are a couple of things that kind of started you off in like the DIY space that might help someone start working on their own music?
Well, honestly, for me, the biggest breakthrough was when I began making music on my tablet, which may surprise some people who aren't familiar with that. But I've been producing everything on my tablet with Logic for the iPad. A big part of that is because Logic is very robust. There are some limitations when you're not using like a proper computer, But what I like about it is being able to pop over to the cafe and do some mixing or some writing. I'll do mixing in my car, because for me, I don't want to necessarily mix on a studio monitors. I want to do my mixing literally on a cell phone speaker, on earbuds, or a Bluetooth speaker, or my car, because that's where people consume 90% of their music. So it allows me to pop out to my car, sync up, and take a listen to a couple things. There's it. I guess what I'll say is that the limitations for me are outweighed by the ability to literally write anywhere. And
I
then,
love
of course, I
that.
come into the studio, I can plug it in and I can do proper recordings of guitar parts or vocals, stuff like that. But as far as like writing and mixing, I'm truly mobile, and that's really given me a lot of freedom.
That's so smart because both like, obviously like everyone does the car test, but you're actively
Yeah.
able to do the car test. You know what I mean?
Yes. I can literally sit there and go, oh, wait, the bass is not right there. And I can literally sit there and do some tweaking right there on the fly.
Yeah, that's something that not a lot of people can think of, or not think of, but like not a lot of people probably have thought to do. I think that that's probably one of the most creative ways to mix, not just in the car, but like being able to go into different places that have different inspiration. Like, if you're writing something like jazzy and you want to do it in like, a coffee shop, like you could get the vibe and you could put the vibe and the energy into the music.
Yeah, a lot of the writing honestly does happen in those spaces, because I'll get in the studio and I get blocked by all sorts of things. Whereas when I can step out of my space, and then keep in mind the studio is in my house, right? So when you're in your house, there's also laundry to do. There's always something to do to distract you from that. So getting out of the house and just going somewhere else allows me to really kind of focus in on that, especially for being as ADHD as I am. That's kind of integral. I'll
Oh,
say.
I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me, I
The
get it.
struggle is real.
The
I'm telling
struggle
you.
is real.
Yeah.
But I love that you found a solution for that because not everyone can think outside of the box, and I think that's one of the things that creatives and artists have at their disposal. They can think outside
Yeah.
of the box so that they can find ways to grow and find ways to overcome. So I love that you make your music in a different and interesting way.
Thank you. It's funny. It started when I was playing in the band that I was in previously, because I wanted to be able to do like some sequencing and drum loops and things of that nature, but I didn't want to haul around a computer. And that's where that started. And it was like that was opening Pandora's box. Then I started to learn about all the different things that you can do musically on a tablet, and it was like, oh my, I'm in trouble.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I know that you're working on some things this year. I know that you mentioned that you're going to be recording with your backing band. I guess what is the difference between creating something by yourself and creating something with the band? Because obviously you created the music that you have and had to adapt that to a stage show.
Yeah. So I think it's important to talk about why I put together a band. I really didn't want to go on stage and just like hit play on a backing track and sing my own songs, especially in sort of like, the local venues like here where I'm playing mostly clubs and bars. To me, it would read like Kelly karaoke, and I didn't want to do that. So I put together a band because another reason why is, for one thing, bands bring a lot of energy that just a single person on the stage won't bring. But I also wanted my live shows to come across differently than my studio works. I want there to be a reason to go see, for example, Walk Tall being performed live, because it's going to be different from what you get when you stream it on Spotify. And as that happened, I began to realize that there was an opportunity to actually involve them periodically with certain songs, so that it's not just always me. And they were totally down to do that. So essentially when I'm going into this season of recording with them, some of the songs I've written, but it's more bare bones because I don't want them to feel locked into any particular parts. I want them to have their own input on how those parts play out. And one song in particular, I've literally just written the lyrics for. I've written nothing else because I want that to be more about them. So I'm excited about that because it's going to broaden the things that come out of this project. If it's just me, you're just going to get me, right? And I've got a lot to offer, but when I bring in two or three other voices, two or three other spirits, they're going to bring a whole different element to what comes out. And I'm really excited about that.
I love that aspect because you're also bringing other people's energy, especially for the stage show.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because like
And that energy
I've
is
said
so
this all the
important.
time. Energy is like the number one thing with music, because there was like a meme or something I saw one day where like you can decorate your space, but like you're decorating the atmosphere with music.
Yes. Oh, I did see
So
that. That was really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly the words, but like music decorates like the soundscape, whereas like visually, like whether it's like physically decorating a room or decorating like even a video like I do, like the music is the energy that's around you. So
For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
it's a cool dynamic when you can do things like harmonies and stuff on stage, because that brings a certain kind of energy to the audience.
Oh, absolutely. And we do still use backing tracks on some of our songs, but what's really exciting about it is I give them full license to reinterpret the music how they want. There may be moments where I say it's really important that we do this here, but otherwise I let them reinterpret it, which is especially exciting for some of the EDM stuff because my drummer gets to play around and have some fun. She's not just doing an EDM beat on an acoustic kit. She's really kind of broadening it and doing her own thing. And so again, that makes it more exciting because you're never going to see the same thing. And also it frees me up to not have to play as many instruments. It frees me up to be able to move my body around and not feel like I'm stuck behind a guitar or stuck behind a piano.
That also gives you a little bit more like you said, it gives you the opportunity for stage presence, because if you're tied up and you're
Correct.
boxed in and you're like, I'm stuck here with the guitar, like
There's only so much you can
it
do.
limits what
Yeah,
you can do. Yeah, so
exactly.
that's a really cool
Exactly.
dynamic. So with the band, like I know that you're looking into potentially doing some online live stream stuff, which that also gives the opportunity for an online audience to see that dynamic. So if and
Correct.
when you do that, you'll have to let me know, because maybe I'll tune
I
in.
will. We are working out the kinks. So I can't exactly give an estimate on
Um,
when that will happen, but that's exactly why we want to do that. Is we want people who know of us, but maybe aren't able to make it to see one of our local shows. It'll let them see what we've got going on, at least to some degree.
Definitely. And there's actually a couple of really good things that go along with that, which I am going to plug here, because, family members can't always make it to a show. So it's always nice when, grandma in wherever grandma is able to see your show. And then also, it's also a good place for bookers to be able to see what a show could potentially look like.
For sure, exactly. Especially when we decide to start
So,
traveling, that'll be helpful.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's one of the biggest things that people, I do like, in my studio, like cover reels, like for cover bands, so that they can show the reel so that they can get booked. So like
exactly.
essentially having something like a longer set or a song or something that they can see is invaluable at this time.
Yeah,
So
and that's
you're on the
that's
right
you know that's
track.
been a thank you. That is a struggle for us because we just want to focus on the music. And then I've tried to bring some people in to create some video content for us, and it's really got to be the right mix. So we've been doing all that ourselves as well. So it's a bit of a slow burn, but we are getting there to the best of our ability.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
And like, that's one of the reasons why, like, when I was like, this is a really good example. Take a look at this one. Because I feel like it's easier to create something like that when you can see what the potential ending is. Like what it could look like, so that you could kind
for
of
sure,
move towards that. But
for
pivoting
sure.
again. Um what like I lost my track of thought because I just went on like a whole broadcast journey. I was like, "Oh my god, there's so many inputs."
I
But
feel you there.
there's always so many inputs. But Kelly, so I want to hear a little bit more about like, the direction that you're going with music this year. Are like, I know you said that you had the EDM style and now you have the band style. Like, where do you plan on going as an artist? Because I feel like everyone has their own journey and like, journey that they want to work towards. Are you trying to be like a touring artist? Are you trying to be like more of a recording artist? Or like, is there a certain part of the industry that you're trying to make your way into?
Wow, that's a really good question. Um, for me, and again, this is going to sound like such a stereotypical musician answer. For me, I just want to make good music. And I just want to be able to entertain people and maybe have something to say. As far as like where I'm trying to go with my music, there's the term avant pop is one that I've come across that really, I think, closely resembles where I'm going with the material I'm working on right now, because some of it is going to be more rock and roll focused. Some of it's going to be a little bit less energetic. But I think the one thing that always seems to be a common denominator with everything that I do is a lot of my lyrics, well, all of them to this point, are kind of rooted in some sort of reality, whether it's my own personal experience or some things that I've witnessed with other people who are close to me. I'm always trying to talk about something real, and something that maybe impacts you emotionally. So that's sort of the through line with everything. So if there's anything I'd like to be known for, it's for being authentic. Whether I'm singing about my happiness or singing about my sadness, and all the other emotions, I hope that it comes across as authentic, and I just hope that it maybe touches people where they need to be touched. I know that some of the songs that have really helped me through tough places are songs that continually come back and continue to help me through those same places when I run into them again. So I would only hope that that would be something that would resonate with people. As far as what we're open to doing, like touring versus just recording, it seems a little too early in the game to know where that's going to go for me. But I would have to be I'd have to be set up with something pretty good in order to actually start touring. Right now, all of us in the band, myself included, we have lives here. I'm a mom, by the way. Like, I have a kid, so like that does kind of like limit what you're able to do on a DIY budget. But that's where I think the online space is pretty interesting, because you can do things that allow people to experience you without necessarily having to travel. So if anything, that would be something I'd like to focus on a little more.
You have so many great points in like all of your answers. I'm like, these are the nuggets of information that people need. So I appreciate you, like, sharing your thoughts, because like, I don't even have to ask questions. You're just given all of the things.
Gotcha.
That's funny. So I love the jacket. The jacket's fire.
Oh, this is my favorite jacket. It's amazing. I love it so much.
It's great. So I guess, Kelly, we're coming towards the end of our interview. Where can people find you and your music? And, obviously, like I said, you're in Ohio. So, like, maybe an area where they might be able to catch a show.
Oh, for sure. So we always intend to stream everything on all the major platforms. So whether you're a Spotify person, Apple Music, whether you're doing Deezer, you can find us there. Just look up Kelly Eryn, Eryn. Find us on Instagram too. That's really where I do a lot of my like social media work, is Instagram. I don't focus too much on a lot of the other platforms. Instagram just seems to work for us, for me as well. As far as locations, we have been playing shows around the Cincinnati area, which is where we're located. So we always try to make announcements when we have shows and promote them pretty heavily. We'll be taking a break a little while so we can, work on recording the EP, but we do have a show coming up in March, at the end of March. So pretty excited about that one. So
awesome.
We'd love to see you if you're able to travel.
Yeah, go to Cincinnati, everyone. It's going to be great.
It's a good town. It really is.
I've road tripped through there before, so I've been. It's been a second. So maybe one day I'll be back for a show.
It's got a lot to offer. It really does. For a small Midwestern
Kelly,
big city.
I mean, hey, like, they gotta exist, and that's gonna be a place for everyone to congregate to. So, big cities, even if it's in the Midwest, is still big cities. So Thank you so much, Kelly, for hanging out with us today, and speaking to me, but also generally the internet. And I really appreciate, you take time.
I'm happy to, and it's been really nice talking with you. Thank you for what you're doing. It's really good for people like us.
Thank you so much. I'm trying. I'm making opportunities for everyone. But on that note, I will see you guys on the next interview. And Kelly, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.